It's not often that we get to enjoy in tandem the men's pommel horse and the women's floor. It's one of the idiosyncrasies of how the Baku World Cups operate, that they run the pommel horse competition on the second day. And those of you who've been following the World Cup events and the Olympic qualification pathway with pommel horse, you will know that it's one of the most challenging to extricate yourself from with an Olympic ticket. The field is, well, quite frankly, wonderful for us and awful for them, because this is full of contenders. Also, the women's floor final, we have, that's not Hilary Heron of Panama, that's Steven Nederozic. Charlize Mertz of Austria, champion at national level. Kelly Nemour of Algeria, the reigning African all-around champion. Welcome to the international scene, Risa Esponda of the United States of America. She's the reigning junior national champion, very good tumbler. Laura Casabuena of Spain, Mediterranean Games medalist and a World Cup medalist in Cairo on floor. Oyu Shen of the People's Republic of China, the reigning World Universities champion on floor. Emma Malabuyo of the Philippines, silver medalist at the Asian Championships in Singapore last year. And Sugihara Aiko of Japan. Yes, exactly. She is there. She is back. And of all people, you can't miss out to Sugihara Aiko, because it's wonderful that she's made her return to international competition. Now, to the pommel horse. We've attempted twice to identify Steven Nederozic, and it hasn't quite worked out on either occasion, but he is there, and he is the world champion from 2021. Benjamin Osberger is alongside him. Patrick Hoops, his teammate, stares back at Mr. Nederozic, excited to be there. Lee Chi Kai, top qualifier and Olympic silver medalist in Tokyo. Double world championship medalist, the Jordanian Ahmad Abu Al-Soud. He's in a great position to qualify for the games, as is Nariman Kurbanov of Kazakhstan. Xiao Yujian of Chinese Taipei, fourth best in qualification, first final he's made in this cycle of World Cup events. And Albanian Matvey Petrov, who was fifth in Cottbus. There we go, we've got the formal introduction for Sugihara Aiko of Japan.
It's time to warm up.
The finalists in the women's floor competition. Top in qualification, number 6 in the order, Oyu Shen, the reigning World Universities champion on floor and just about everything else. She was a star in her home games in Chengdu last year. Second best in qualification, but only on the execution tiebreak. Risa Esponda, the young American, just 15, she's the youngest in the final. But if you can win a junior national title in the USA, you are quite a prospect. The men's pommel horse final. Top qualifier, Lee Chi Kai of Chinese Taipei. He goes fourth in the order. Didn't make the final in Cairo. Didn't make the final in Cottbus. Might be looking at the Asian Championships later this year as an all-arounder, because he was a very good all-arounder in World Championship competitions and Olympic competitions in seasons gone by. Now let's focus on those in this pommel horse final who are going for Olympic qualification. We look here at Benjamin Osberger, who will go second. Lee Chi Kai, who will go fourth. Ahmad Abu Al-Soud, who will go fifth. Nariman Kurbanov, who will go sixth. Xiao Yujian, seventh. And Matvey Petrov, eighth. So it's only the two Americans that we take out of the Olympic qualification pathway here, Steven Nederozic and Patrick Hoops. They certainly have the potential to feature on the podium, though. But we just remind ourselves that if they are on the podium, their points scores will be removed, and only the gymnasts who are able to qualify for Paris 2024 will be given points due to their position in the leaderboard. So you could finish behind the two Americans and still pick up the maximum 30 points. I hope all of that made sense. As I've said throughout these World Cups, it is a complicated qualification process. On floor, the gymnast that we are not thinking about from a Paris 2024 pathway point of view, Risa Sponder of the USA, who is part of a team that's already qualified. Olly Shen of China, part of a team that's already qualified, and the same for Sugihara Aiko of Japan. So most of the gymnasts that you're about to see over these two finals are going for Paris 2024 qualification. Good luck to them all.
Please welcome first gymnast representing Panama.
Now here's a gymnast in a different position from the ones we've talked about from a team point of view. Hilary Heron has secured a spot at Paris 2024 as an all-arounder, a named spot. So she is Olympics bound. She was the 7th best in qualification, the 20-year-old from Panama City. She really does conclude the routine with such a strong piece of tumbling. Unfortunate loss of equilibrium on one of the tumbling passes from this very decorated young gymnast from Panama. 13 medals in the Americas.
Representing USA, Steven Nederozic.
How lovely to see Steven Nederozic back in World Cup competition. The world champion from Kitakyushu in 2021. He was the 2nd best in qualification. And he is also the reigning 3-time consecutive national champion. It's a superb accomplishment. He tends to get such good clearance. Very fluid. Look at the height he's got in his Wendeschwings, the woos. Magyar Shivado, great body position. This is very nice. Oh, that's a treat. What a good start. Steven Nederozic, lovely beginning to the final. Graduate of electrical engineering. He's a specialist in data storage. And I think that's going to be quite a big number that's being stored in the computer after that first performance. The young man from Massachusetts has just thrown down a massive challenge to everyone else in that final with that very stylish display. Last time we saw Steven Nedorosik at a World Cup was, I believe, in Melbourne in 2020, just before the pandemic. And that was before his rise to fame. 11.8 for Hilary Heron. So she's down by 1.2 from qualification, the lion's share of that being the putting down of the hands when tumbling. Charlize Mertz of Austria, 5th best in qualification. A gymnast who really has handled the occasion so well across the 3 World Cup qualification events. Hello, that's a big number. 15.4 for Steven Nedorosik. He's up from qualification. Just up by hundreds, but that's a great start. He always looks so happy to be at a gymnastics competition. Benjamin Osberger of France, 8th in qualification. He was 4th in Cairo, 8th in Cottbus, aiming for a place at the games, his home games. A slight flicker on the handstand, but he controlled it nicely. Oh, he lost the leg form on the single arm work, and didn't he clamp down on that? Again, has a little leg separation, big deductions, but he's kept himself from losing a full mark through real strength and poise. Woos were good. Some nice difficulty there, working principally on one arm. Addy pirouettes round well to conclude the routine. There will be some cost for those form breaks, 2 of them quite pronounced, but very composed to arrest the decline.
Now, ladies and gentlemen, we are waiting for score of Charlize Mertz.
Charlize Mertz, 13.566. She's up by half a mark from qualification. 3/10 of execution, 2/10 of difficulty. Yet again, this young Austrian, the 18-year-old from the east of the country in Eisenstadt, has delivered in a World Cup final. And that could
Score of Charlie's Morrison,
be the one that gets her to the games.
13.566.
It'll get her very close, certainly.
Next finalist from
That's
Algeria.
brilliant for the Mertz family. All three of the sisters are gymnasts. Kaylee Namour of Algeria. Things have gone brilliantly on the uneven bars, not as well on beam. She was the 4th best qualifier on floor. Let us continue to reflect on the strong development of 17-year-old Kaylee Namour of Algeria, already Paris-bound after finishing 8th at the World Championships in the all-around competition. Osberger, 14.266. He is down 4/10 from qualification. All of that execution due to those breaks in form that I mentioned earlier. Now, this will be interesting to see. Patrick Hoops of the United States of America, 21 from Utah. He won the Pommel horse title at a domestic competition called the Winter Cup at the start of the year. It's a very popular event in the USA. He was 4th at the national championships last year. And he is undergraduate majoring in legal studies. Looking quite smooth so far. It'll be interesting to see if he can keep the clearance strong as the routine goes on. It's quite close to the apparatus, but he's powerful in those Wendeschwings. Very nice. Very slight crossing of the legs, but it didn't last long. This is poised. Call came out from the US team on the sidelines to push through, and he did. Well done to Patrick Hoops, the young man from the United States of America, following his teammate Stephen Nederozic. Second place for Kaylee Namour, 13.266. It's up by 1/10 from qualification, just a little sharper in the execution.
United States of America.
We've just seen one young American on pommel horse. It will be very interesting to see Reese Esponda of the USA on the floor. 15, the reigning junior national champion. She makes her senior international debut here. if you did not know that Rhys Esponda is a very good young tumbler, you know now. There's a prospect and a half. Patrick Hoops, 14.9. He's up from qualification. Anytime an athlete comes into a first World Cup final and improves from qualification, it's a very good step in their career, and that's what he's done. To Li Chi-kai of Chinese Taipei. 11th in Cairo, 29th in Cottbus. The silver medalist from Tokyo, exploring his options for how to get to the Games. Top qualifier here, though. Handstand work shows a little flair. On the subject of a little flair, here are some big flares. Good hip height. Hands secure. And he goes again. Brilliant. Really precise flare work. Spins so well into the dismount. Matvey Petrov, watching that from the sidelines, was grinning like a Cheshire cat, enjoying the great sport that we were seeing from Li Chi-kai. 12.833 from Rhys Esponda. Down by 2/10 of difficulty and 3/10 of execution from qualifying, but certainly a good display from the youngster.
For the next 4 finalists.
Charlize Mertz leads the floor final at the halfway stage. That's very big for her from a Paris 2024 point of view. It will be intriguing to see where Lee features, with Nedorozic on 15.4 and Lee scoring 15.533 in the preliminary round. One imagines this is going to be quite tight. And we've still got some huge contenders to come. Just to further clarify or possibly complicate, depending on how you see it, the picture at this stage, only 3 of the 4 performances, if you do compete at all 4 World Cups, actually count towards your qualification process for Paris. And of course, not all gymnasts do compete at all 4 World Cups. Not all gymnasts can compete at all 4 World Cups. So some do have a little more breathing space perhaps than others. Quite a lot of deliberation going on when it comes to Li Chi-kai's score. I think it's pretty much the longest wait we've had so far for any single number over the course of this weekend. We have that number, 15.4, and he has gone into the lead. I did say I thought it would be tight, and it really is tight.
Warm-up time has ended. And please welcome.
So Li Chi-kai level with Stephen Nedorozic. They're in joint first place. Laura Casabuena of Spain, 8th best in qualification, bronze medalist in Cairo. Olympic qualification may feel a bit like a prayer for a lot of the gymnasts across these 4 World Cups, but that could be something of a ray of light for Laura Casabuena in terms of her Paris prospects.
Jordan, Ahmad Abu Al-Saud.
Ahmad Abu Al-Saud of Jordan. 2-time World Championship medalist. He won in Cairo. He finished 2nd in Cottbus. This could be the one for him, but he was only the 5th best in qualification. Always watch for how he cuts out sections of the apparatus like there. Often bypasses the middle to add extra difficulty. It's clever. His form's not quite as tidy as it has been. But he's done well. He's done very well. Ahmad Abu Al-Saud, 28-year-old from Amman, the 6th largest city in the Arab world. A very historic city in a beautiful country. He's spoken so many times about how, we'll come back to him in a moment, 12.833 for Laura Casabuena, almost the same as qualification, down by just 1/10. She's in 3rd position, but she is in 2nd place when it comes to those who are trying to qualify for the games. Olly Shen of the People's Republic of China, top in qualification, the reigning World Universities champion on floor. This is her first competition since the World Championship. She's part of a team that's already qualified for the games. There really is some lovely work on floor going on at the moment in the Chinese team. The conscious effort they've made to make their orchestral choices closer to home, their choreography drawn from traditional Chinese dance. It's very exciting. 15 for Ahmad Abu Al-Saud. He's up by almost 3/10 from qualification. I was saying earlier that he's spoken about how much support he gets from his coaching staff, how good the teamwork is, and he's repaying all of that in leaps and bounds with his progress of late. Nariman Kurbanov of Kazakhstan, 3rd best in qualifying, 15.2. The reigning Asian champion. He won in Cottbus, he was 5th in Cairo. He's somebody who absolutely is pushing for a qualification spot. He'd like to be able to drop that 5th place from Cairo after Doha. Maybe just dropping a little low in places, but he always finds a way to keep the body straight. Those heels are crisply pressed together. His dismount
Dear friends, that
kept
was
it pretty
Nariman
simple.
Kurbanov representing
Nariman Kurbanov,
and the most memorable sporting
15.2 was the score in qualification.
on the Pommel horse at
It'll
the
be interesting to look at his
21 World
difficulty.
University Games held in Italian Naples.
It was such a great performance in Cottbus from Kurbanov in a World Cup that has not traditionally been very enjoyable for him over the years. He's had difficult results there, but he won a couple of weeks ago. Oyu Shen was the top performer in qualification with 13.433.
Dear gymnastics fans, we are waiting for score of Yushan O representing China.
She is an undergraduate at the Beijing Sport University, which is one of the famous double first-class universities. It used to be called the National Key Universities. She goes into second place, 13.533 for Oyu Shen. So she's hundreds behind Charlize Mertz.
China is 13.533. Please welcome the next finalist.
This is the last gymnast who is
Malabuyo.
attempting Paris 2024 qualification through this route. Emma Malabuyo of the Philippines, born in Mountain View in California, 21-year-old. Strong performance from Emma Malabuyo of the Philippines. She is absolutely delighted with that display. She won the silver medal in Cairo. Kurbanov, 15.133. So that puts him in third position. It puts him above Ahmad Abu Al-Soud, which is important. It puts him below Li Chi-kai, but he's still in a very, very good position, along with Al-Soud. The second gymnast from Chinese Taipei, Xiaoyu Jun, fourth best in qualification. This is the first time he's made a final in this World Cup qualification process, but he does have 5 World Cup medals overall. He won the bronze medal at the World University Games in Chengdu, where his teammate Li Chi-kai won the title for a third consecutive time. He's performing this well. Tidy, nice pirouette to finish from Xiaoyu Jun. That's the display that we've been waiting to see from him in qualification for Paris 2024 after he was 10th in Cairo and 26th in Cottbus. Well done to him on a resilient effort in Baku. Emma Malabuyo, 13.133, so she's up from qualification. She is in 4th position. That puts her above Laura Casabuena.
From Japan, Aiko Sugihara.
We go to Sugihara Aiko of Japan. Welcome back to the 24-year-old from Osaka, 2-time Olympian and the reigning Japanese champion on floor after her return. Starting off the display with a little James Bond orchestration, and upon announcing her comeback, proving that tomorrow never dies, Sugihara Aiko of Japan. Back in international competition, Xiaoyujian 15.3. Wow, that's a great score for him. He's up by about half a mark from qualification.
Finalist on Pommel horse.
And he has put himself above Kurbanov and Abu Al Soud. Oh, this Pommel horse qualification is brutal, but it's jolly good fun, isn't it, for us to watch. To Matvey Petrov of Albania, the European champion from 2020, another aspiring to qualify for the Games. Some fabulous Pommel horse specialists are not going to make it through this route. Oh, he had a little leg bend going into the Busnari. Did well to get out of that. Good hip height in his flares. Just at times a slightly juddery display, perhaps.
That was Matvey Petrov representing Albania. And by the way, he is the
But Matvey Petrov continuing to prove that he's still a massive contender. Sugihara Aiko, 13 exactly for her. She's in 5th position, and we'll bring you the classified results.
And the score is 30.
A great result for Charlize Mertz of Austria in terms of Olympic qualification. She takes the gold medal in Baku. Oyushen and Kalina Moore 2nd and 3rd. Then we look at Emma Malabuyo, the next after Mertz, aiming for a place at the Games. Good result for her. Laura Casabuena also picking up some very useful points. Nice to see the return of Sugihara Aiko as well. Back in international competition for the first time since Tokyo 2020. How big a number for Petrov? 14.7, down a little from qualification. He's in 7th place. He was the first reserve for the Olympic final in Tokyo, the 33-year-old.
And now, ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Flash Mob.
The classified results in the pommel horse competition: joint gold for Li Chikai and Steven Nedorozic of Chinese Taipei and the United States of America respectively. Xiao Yujian, also of Chinese Taipei, takes a great bronze medal. Nariman Kurbanov and Ahmad Abu Al-Soud virtually inseparable, but Kurbanov picking up some points to give him a bit of an advantage. Xiao trying to come back from a long way back, considering he was 10th in Cairo and 26th in Cottbus, so it may be a bridge too far, but he's certainly done himself a big favour with that result, picking up the maximum points for the Olympic hopefuls. The victory ceremony for the men's pommel horse competition. Joint gold medalists.
Award ceremony for men's pommel horse final. 3rd place and bronze medalist Yujian Xiao, Chinese Taipei.
The bronze medal to Xiao Yujian of Chinese Taipei, by far his best performance in this cycle of World Cup Olympic qualification.
Chinese Taipei.
2 gold medalists, Li Chikai of Chinese Taipei and Steven Nedorozic of the United States of America.
Are presented by Artur Mickiewicz, president of the FIG Men's Artistic Gymnastics
2
Technical
totally different ways to build the same score.
Manager of
Diversity of style,
Federation,
unified by quality execution.
of Azerbaijan Gymnastics Federation. Ladies and gentlemen, please stand and show your respect for the national anthem of Chinese Taipei. Ladies and gentlemen, please remain standing and show your respect for the national anthem of the United States of America.
Tebrik ederim.
The medalists in the men's pommel horse competition in Baku at the National Gymnastics Arena. Great respect amongst those gymnasts. What a good final it was. The victory ceremony in the women's floor competition at the World Cup of Artistic Gymnastics in Baku.
Award ceremony for women's floor
The winner of the bronze medal, Kalia Namour of Algeria.
Silver medalist, Yushan O, China.
The silver medalist, O Yushen of the People's Republic of China.
Gold medalist, Charlize Moyers, Austria.
And Charlize Mertz of Austria wins her first ever World Cup title. And this after a really strong display in Cottbus, where she was third. She was fourth in Cairo. She goes to Doha with the job looking as though it's all but done.
Ladies and gentlemen, please stand and show your respect for the national anthem of Austria.
The sounds of Land de Berge, Land am Strom, land of the mountains, land by the river. The national anthem of Austria, adopted in 1946. The medalists in the women's floor competition in Baku.